Tom Aspinall. Told you guys already. We'll get Aspinall versus Jones done. Jon Jones versus the heavyweight fight will happen. Just relax. I'll announce that soon.
Tom Aspinall is determined to make up for lost time. The English heavyweight spent nearly a year in limbo, waiting for Jon Jones to agree to what many believed would be a historic clash for the undisputed UFC heavyweight title. That wait came to an unexpected end when Jones announced his retirement, abruptly ending hopes of a super fight and leading to Aspinall's promotion from interim to full UFC heavyweight champion. At one point, people questioned what it would actually take for the UFC to book a fight with Aspinall. Some even threw out wild theories off the cuff. But just when it seemed like the door had closed, the situation flipped again. Jon Jones, who appeared to have stepped away from the sport for good, re-entered the USADA testing pool. The motivation, a potentially unprecedented UFC event planned for July 4, 2026. At the White House, celebrating America's 250th Independence Day, Dana White confirmed that Jones had initially accepted the fight with Aspinall before retiring, and now in the clearest sign yet that Jones is back. He's not just returning, he's aiming for the grandest stage of them all.
To fight Tom Aspinall from the UFC? Like, what does the UFC got to do?
Said something real wild on the off the cuff. I'll see you guys later.
That's it.
Yeah, right. Thanks for the happy.
Jon Jones, the legend.
Aspinall isn't hesitating. Sources close to the champion confirmed that he has accepted the fight, pending official confirmation. Now that Jon Jones has officially re-entered the USADA testing pool, the wheels are in motion once again. If everything that goes according to plan, Jones will be Tom Aspinall's first opponent at the UFC's historic White House event. But the drama surrounding this clash goes far beyond just two elite heavyweights. It's about legacy, symbolism, and everything these two fighters represent on the biggest stage imaginable.
I don't know, did you see his series of tweets over the last few days inferring that basically he told you guys that he was retired last November and that your efforts to make the Aspinall fight were basically futile?
It's not true.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that what you wanted to ask me?
Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. But what do you make of him coming out and saying saying contrary to what you've said there?
For over a year, the UFC and its fans have eagerly awaited Jon Jones' return to defend his heavyweight title. After dismantling Gane in under 3 minutes back in March 2023, Jones vanished from the octagon sidetracked by injuries, surgeries, and an eventual retirement announcement. Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall blazed his way through the division, culminating in a devastating first-round knockout of Sergey Pavlovich at UFC 295 in New York. That victory earned him the interim championship and reignited excitement across the heavyweight landscape. Still, the division felt incomplete because the man holding the true crown, Jon Jones, had yet to be dethroned.
As much as I love Tom and I want Tom to win, couldn't pick against Jon Jones. I'll be honest, Tom's a friend. I love Tom. He's one of the coolest dudes in the whole of MMA. Even though Jones is getting old, I just can't pick against Jon Jones. I've been watching Jon Jones, as I say, since 2010.
Now, it seems that the long-awaited matchup may finally become a reality, but in the most surreal and symbolic setting the sport has ever witnessed, the lawn of the White House. The idea, reportedly proposed by former President Donald Trump, has sent shockwaves through the fight world. A longtime UFC supporter and Hall of Fame inductee, Trump is said to be orchestrating a major UFC event at the White House on July 4, 2026, as part of America's semiquincentennial celebrations. And this isn't just a publicity stunt, it's shaping up to be a historic moment in both sports and political spectacle.
That's the hard thing about giving opinions on this, because it's just opinions. Like, we don't know the facts of what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what's been said from Jon's side or Aspinall's side, and I do give Aspinall the benefit of the doubt, believing that if he didn't think the Jon Jones fight was going to happen, like, he probably would have taken another fight. Where we're comparing it with the Chandler situation, it felt to me
we're going to have special events in honor of America 250, and I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. Does anybody watch UFC? The greatest in the world, Trump said. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this on the grounds of the White House. We've got a lot of land there. We're going to build a little well. Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. It'll be a championship fight, a full event, maybe 20,000 to 25,000 people. And we're doing it as part of the 250th celebration with UFC. President Dana White confirming that plans are indeed in motion. The buzz is building fast. Fighters are already lining up for a spot on the card. Conor McGregor has even offered to compete. But nothing comes close to the spectacle of Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, two titans finally colliding under the stars, right in front of the U.S. Capitol, in what could become the most iconic fight in MMA history.
Special events in honor of America 250, and I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. Does anybody watch UFC, the great Dana Well? We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little. We're not. Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. We're going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible events. The UFC fights.
For Aspinall, this is the moment he's been quietly preparing for. While Jones disappeared from the spotlight, Aspinall remained focused, disciplined in training, vocal in interviews, and ready for the call. Now, with the world watching, he's fully committed to defending the undisputed heavyweight title, starting with Jones if the UFC makes it official. But even as he embraces that challenge, Aspinall isn't slowing down. With the weight of doubt finally lifted, he's charging ahead with an ambitious schedule. In a recent interview with Adam Catterall on One on One, Aspinall made his intentions
imposing an international fight week deadline. Right here and now, I'm imposing this deadline. By the way, they announced that they're going to do a press conference tour for Canelo Crawford, and one of the stops is June 27th, the day before Ilya versus Charles, International Fight Week, 317. I'm imposing an International Fight Week deadline. An announcement must be made. A decision must be made. That's when the eyes of the MMA world...
I'd like to do for fights in the next 12 months, Aspinall revealed. I don't know how realistic that is. First of all, there aren't that many of us. If you look at the top 10, I've already beaten 6 of them. My goal is to beat all 10. I want to clear out the division. That's not just talk, it's a roadmap. Aspinall has already taken out top contenders like Sergey Pavlovich, Marcin Tybura, Alexander Volkov, and others. The 4 remaining names in the current top 10 that he hasn't yet faced are Cyril Gane, Showdown, Almeida, Waldo, Cortez Acosta, and Derek Lewis. Of those, Gane is widely expected to be next, possibly headlining a major event against Aspinall before the year ends. I do have a fight lined up, though I can't announce it just yet, Aspinall said during the same interview. But we've got a date, we've got an opponent, and I finally feel like my career is moving forward
left
again.
After this Nelkins view. This has to be a joke. Surely Dana is going to have to strip Jon Jones, because this can't keep happening. Like, you're the heavyweight champion, it's your job to defend the belt. And if you don't want to defend it, then retire. It's so strange to me. It's strange how the UFC keeps defending him. He's still the heavyweight champion, but won't fight. And what is he expecting by going on all of these media tours when people bring up the question?
Aspinall's focus is crystal clear, but there's more driving him than just competition. After spending much of 2023 stuck in limbo with inactivity and contract uncertainty, he's now determined to stay active, secure big paydays, and carve out a lasting legacy. The timeline is tight, and the mission is bold. He wants to squeeze in 3 or 4 fights between now and the end of 2026, and there's no better way to kick off that run than with a historic showdown against Jon Jones on the White House lawn.
Seen a fight that we've wanted that we've then been denied. No different than the girl's school that you're chasing and she's telling you no. Use steam. This fight is a smaller fight now than it was 3 months ago. Aspinall versus Jones. By the way, I don't mean to give me resurrected one press conference, one Instagram live fight. I'm just sharing for you right now. Jones and Aspinall was not only hotter 3 months ago, it was hotter than that 5 months ago.
Cyril Gane remains the freightrunner for Aspinall's next opponent, pending any finalization of the White House showdown. As the highest-ranked available contender, Gane still carries name recognition despite the controversy surrounding his recent split decision win over Alexander Volkov, a result widely disputed by the MMA community, with 19 of 20 media members scoring it for Volkov. While Gane is back in the mix, his performances continue to draw criticism for lacking urgency and exposing weaknesses in wrestling defense. If he ends up facing Aspinall, it could turn into a very short night.
But something I want to talk about, guys. We're going to talk about this for a little bit. I got some notes, and that's the heavyweight division, because I figured it's a good time to talk about it with all the Jon Jones stuff going around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think personally, Tom Aspinall really needs to mentally get rid of Jon Jones. No more thinking about him. He's gone. You're champ, right? Because I strongly believe right now, Tom Aspinall can go on a long win streak, on a tear.
But what did you make of it when you heard Jon calling out Alex, of all people? It's a fair question, especially with Alex Pereira now emerging as one of the UFC's biggest stars. He knows what he's doing, one observer said. Everybody loves Alex, but I think Jon is avoiding Aspinall because deep down, He knows Aspinall could stop him. I really believe he's afraid. That sentiment, while bold, echoes what many are thinking. Aspinall poses a unique and dangerous threat still. All roads lead back to Jon Jones. The moment he re-entered the USADA testing pool, the narrative shifted. Jones doesn't make casual moves if he's back. He's training, focused, and waiting for terms to be finalized. According to Dana White, the Jones versus Aspinall fight had already been agreed upon once before, but Jones suddenly retired. "We had the fight," he accepted, White told reporters. Then he changed his mind. Fans speculated that Jones backed out to protect his legacy and undefeated aura that could be shattered by Aspinall. But with the White House event on the horizon, everything changes. This isn't just a title defense anymore, it's a spectacle. A historic moment under the stars at America's most iconic address. And for Jones, ever the showman, it might just be the perfect stage for his final act or the defining chapter of his legacy.
What did you make of it when you heard John calling out Alex of all people?
No, I think he does do this because Alex Perez now he's like the star in the UFC. Everybody loves him, so he knows what he's doing. But I believe he should fight against Aspinall. But I think he's a little bit afraid of him, because Aspinall is someone who can really stop him.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's what I think that he believes he can.
But what did you make of it when you heard Jon calling out Alex, of all people? It's a fair question, especially with Alex Pereira now emerging as one of the UFC's biggest stars. He knows what he's doing, one observer said. Everybody loves Alex, but I think Jon is avoiding Aspinall because deep down, he knows Aspinall could stop him. I really believe he's afraid. That sentiment, while bold, echoes what many are thinking. Aspinall poses a unique and dangerous threat still. All roads lead back to Jon Jones. The moment he re-entered the USADA testing pool, the narrative shifted. Jones doesn't make casual moves if he's back. He's training, focused, and waiting for terms to be finalized. According to Dana White, the Jones versus Aspinall fight had already been agreed upon once before, but Jones suddenly retired. "We had the fight," he accepted, White told reporters. Then he changed his mind. Fans speculated that Jones backed out to protect his legacy and undefeated aura that could be shattered by Aspinall. But with the White House event on the horizon, everything changes. This isn't just a title defense anymore, it's a spectacle. A historic moment under the stars at America's most iconic address. And for Jones, ever the showman, it might just be the perfect stage for his final act or the defining chapter of his legacy.
The legacy. To be able to go to the heavyweight division, take out everyone, and then take out the Jon Jones legend, and then go back to even beating a few of these new school guys who literally put Tom Aspinall as the GOAT of the heavyweight division.
Until then, the heavyweight division is finally alive again. Aspinall is ready to defend, Jones appears ready to return, and the most historic venue in the sport's history is being prepared. Aspinall has accepted the fight. Jones has accepted the venue. Now, all that stands in the way is a signed contract. If the UFC can seal the deal, then on July 4, 2026, the world will witness something unprecedented, a heavyweight title clash on the White House lawn. With Tom Aspinall finally facing Jon Jones, not in Las Vegas, not at Madison Square Garden, but in Washington, D.C., under a sky of fireworks.
One guy who could mimic a Jon Jones on the feet is Reem Jones on the feet is Rieger Verhoeven. Your big.
He's gonna wipe the floor. He's gonna wipe the floor with Jon Jones. Jon Jones doesn't have a chance versus Tom Aspinall. Mark my words. Tom Aspinall is a freaking monster.
I love it.
On his feet and on the ground. So I truly believe that Jon Jones never faced somebody.
Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall is no longer just a fight, it's the heavyweight summit the entire MMA world is orbiting around, and it's officially happening next year on the White House lawn. The whispers are over. With Jon Jones back at the USADA testing pool and Dana White adamant that the fight is set, there's no more room for speculation. In a twist of poetic justice, Tom Aspinall, the man many believe Jones walked away to avoid, has become the final boss, headlining what may be the most iconic UFC event ever conceived. And while the bout is now locked in for 2026, the fallout from Jones's earlier decision to step away still echoes across the sport. No one has been louder about it than Daniel Cormier, who, even in retirement, continues to fire psychological jabs at his old rival. On the Pound for Pound podcast, Cormier didn't hold back when asked how he sees the fight playing out, especially if Jones hadn't bowed out the first time.
That would be beyond disappointing, actually, from a marketing standpoint, from a landscape of where the UFC is standpoint. That would be a complete pay-per-view disaster.
We'd see the strength of the UFC brand at Madison Square Garden. That ends up being, because all respect to Tom, but he has never headlined a pay-per-view, so plopping him at the top of Madison Square Garden against Ciryl Gane, I think would be tough, but we'll see what they can do.
That would be tough. I mean, you'd have to have that.
I would have said Jon Jones beats him right now. Cormier admitted, pointing out that Tom Aspinall has yet to be tested in the championship rounds. That first time you feel like you've got to get up off that stool after the third round, that's different. Tom hasn't had to do that yet. According to Cormier, the time to fight Aspinall is now, before he gains that crucial experience. While Cormier has taken shots at Jones for stepping away, his breakdown of Aspinall is rooted in harsh realism. Aspinall has bulldozed through the heavyweight ranks, often finishing opponents before the judges have even settled in. But that dominance has come at a cost. He's never been pushed, never dragged into the deep waters where Jon Jones thrives. For Cormier and many seasoned fighters, championship experience remains the one critical piece Aspinall has.
Some tainted supplements out there, but if you do it repeatedly, the first time, if it's tainted supplement, whatever, they look into it, you're all good. Fair enough. But if you're talking 2, 3, 4, 5 times and they're still letting you fight in a promotion, you're a pretty sick individual, in my opinion.
Even so, the tide has clearly shifted. Aspinall is no longer a raw prospect. He's the champion. He holds the belt, and he's headlining the UFC's 250th Independence Anniversary event on the White House lawn. Jon Jones. He's no longer the gatekeeper, he's the challenger. UFC President Dana White, who has been pulling strings behind the scenes, finally pulled back the curtain during the UFC 316 post-fight press conference. After months of Jones teasing retirement, jetting off to Thailand, and posting a rap about Inanu, goats, and greatness, White confirmed what many had suspected. Jones agreed to the fight. This wasn't just fantasy matchmaking. The UFC made the offer and Jones verbally accepted. I've been saying it from the beginning, White told reporters. Jon Jones agreed to do the fight. He was offered the deal and accepted it. Jon agreed to fight Tom, yes. And with that, the message is clear. The fight is real, the stage is set, and history is about to be made.